So you want to know how your childhood is still showing up as sabotage as an adult. So, hi everyone. This is part two. Last week I did part one, and we talked about the different ways that we sabotage, and it's different ways than what you think. It's different ways than what we normally think of sabotage. It's hidden ways, things that showed up in our childhood. It's not typically the abuse that we think of. Like if we went through childhood and we felt like, oh, well, I didn't have an abusive childhood, so I shouldn't be sabotaging. But there's many little things that happen. So we're going to go into part two. So part one was amazing. So thank you everyone for watching. And now we're going to go into part two. We're going to talk about the three other hidden ways that we sabotage. And so first, tell me, where are you watching from? If you're watching live right now, or even if you're on the replay, tell me, where are you watching live from? I want to know who's all here. So let's see. Stephanie's here. Yesenia's here. Colleen is here. Jordan, can you talk on meditation? Maybe. No, actually, I don't know. I don't know, Jordan. I might talk about meditation, but right now I'm specifically talking about childhood wounds showing up in adulthood. So if meditation comes up, maybe it will, but I can't guarantee it. Hi, Ryan. Drop it like it's hot. Okay, I will. So Ryan's watching from Ohio. Stephanie's here from Wisconsin. Hi, Joe. Hot ass National Kidney Foundation of Arizona. Yeah, it's pretty hot. Edmonton, Crystal's here. Good to see you. Nice talking with you the other day. Yesenia, Santa Ana. Hi, Noelle. Good to see you. Hi. Oh, my sister's watching. Very cool. You might learn some stuff about our childhood. Okay. So what I'm going to do a really quick recap of what I spoke about last week in the part one. And so while I'm doing that, I want to know from you is if you watched part one. So Instagram, I didn't post this, so you guys probably didn't watch it, but on Facebook, if you guys watched part one, I want you to type in the number 1, and then I want you to type in whether you watched it live. So you're going to say 1 live, or you're going to say 1 replay, because I just want to know who's here live with me, who watched it live, where everyone's at. And if you're watching on the replay, you can just tell me that you watched part 1 and whether you watched it live or on the replay. So as you guys are telling me all of that, where you're from, and if you watched part 1, I'm going to recap part 1. So part 1, we talked about, the first one was outdoing. And so outdoing is where you feel that you can't have success, you can't have happiness, you can't have money because you're going to outdo someone in your family. And so you sabotage your success, your happiness, because you don't want to. It's hidden, it's usually unconscious, but you don't want to feel better than someone in your family. And then we talked about burdening. So that's if you felt you were a burden, if maybe your parents told you how all the sacrifices they had to have because they had you, or if you told you were like a difficult or ungrateful child. So that can be a hidden guilt of why you're sabotaging today. And the last one we talked about, my favorite one, so this one is love theft. And this one is usually for the person who was like the favorite child, the favorite of the family, the one who got most of the attention. And it's a difficult place to be in, because if you're that favorite person, then you feel that you stole the love from either your other parent or from your siblings. And so you feel like you like the attention and you like the love that you're getting, but you don't feel that you're worthy of it, or you feel like you're taking love from someone else. So that's the recap. Let me see. Jeremy's watching from CBAD. Nina's here. Russell's here. And okay, 1 replay, live. Okay, so we have a mixture of lives and replays so far. So perfect. And hi, Kenneth. Hi, Steve. Good to see you. So, all right. And I do want to say, oh my gosh, all of you who watched part 1 and just shared from your hearts And I'm still so blown away about how vulnerable and open you all were to share what happened for you, and how much strength you have, and how much determination, and how much of a survivor you are, and how much I was just blown away. So I just want to give you so much credit, so much kudos, so much gratitude for sharing like that. If you feel comfortable, I would love for you to share as well in the comments what you relate with. I want to know if this resonates with you. I know some people said, oh my gosh, they think they have all 6. I know some people said that they haven't related with any yet. Usually everyone has at least one, so we'll see. Okay, I think you're ready for me to go on. So as I take a big deep breath, because it's time to get into my excitement, because I get to share with you guys the stuff that excites me to share about, but it also scares me because, sharing about childhood wounds is not everyone's favorite topic. It's not that happy-go-lucky stuff. So I have to just it's okay, Amy. I'm here to share. I'm here to give you knowledge. So, Colleen said, part 1 was extraordinary. I learned so much to share with my clients. That's why I'm here for round 2. Yay, Colleen. I'm so, so glad you are here and you're able to share this with your clients. When people get this, that's the thing. Once you guys realize that, oh my gosh, this stemmed in my childhood and I had to take this on as a belief that's not mine, and then you get to be aware of it and you don't have to have it anymore, then you get to just let it go and you get to change. And that's the thing. Once you're aware of it, you are no longer guilty for it because you had to take it on, and now you can just move on and feel empowered. So yeah, that's awesome that you get to share that with your clients, Colleen. All right, let's start. So abandonment is so the first one of part 2. So abandonment. So when we think of abandonment, a lot of people think and this is true, a lot of people think oh, I had an absent parent, or I had an emotionally unavailable parent, so you feel abandoned. And that's absolutely true. What we're talking about today is more of the hidden guilt of how you feel that you could be abandoning your parents or your family members, and that's why you are sabotaging. So, okay, Ryan said, my sister, brother, and I fought for my dad's attention and love. He ended up giving the bulk of inheritance to my sister. Made us feel like doggy doo-doo. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. That for that person, your sister, let's see, your dad's attention and love. Yeah, he gave it to your sister. So your sister is considered like the love theft of the family, unfortunately. But that's the thing. You're aware of it. So now you can change it. Now you know where it comes from. So abandonment. So this is where you want to separate from your parents, which is normal. Every single kid needs to go through that separation. They need to want to separate. They want to have their own ideas, their own choices, their own beliefs. And if you feel, whether you're told it or whether you just, you get the feeling like we don't do this in our family, if you feel that you're not allowed to have your own ideas, your own choices, your own independence, then you're going to feel that you are abandoning your parents and their beliefs. And so it can stop you from becoming who you truly are, having that identity of who you are. It can stop you from just whatever you believe in, figuring out what you believe in. And so here's the things. And if you notice that maybe your parents are unhappy or they're dependent on you for their happiness, then a lot of times you feel that big push and pull where you want to leave, you want to separate, you want to individuate, but you feel like you can't because they have this pull on you, and you feel like they're going to be unhappy if you individuate, or they are going to feel they're dependent on you, so you can't. So you feel like you have that neediness pull towards them. And so, which leads to you sabotaging and you punishing yourself and not letting yourself have your own ideas and thoughts and beliefs for whatever you want, because you feel like you're going to abandon your parents. So And even, some people, I've worked with clients like this before, but some people even feel completely guilty and they stay at home. Some people won't even get into relationships because they feel that their parents are so dependent on them that they can't leave and go have their own life. So there's adult kids, and I'm not saying if you go to college and you come back and you live with your parents, but I'm saying like adult kids that never leave their parents because they have this hidden guilt that their parents aren't going to be okay without them. Their parents need them. Their parents gave them that neediness feeling. So the other piece of it too is just as kids, as growing up. So as a little baby, as a child, you're dependent on your parents. And so you have to be dependent on your parents to take care of you. Then when you hit adolescence, that's when you want to go find your independence. And that's where, hopefully, if you have healthy parents, that they want you to individuate and go find your independence and not depend on them for everything and start to figure out who you are. And then as adults, we're interdependent. So we know how to be independent, but also dependent. So what we're talking about here with the abandonment is if you felt that you never really got that independence. You always felt like you're there for your parents for whatever reason, whether it's told to you or whether it's an energetic thing. And, okay. So for those of you who are watching live or on the replay, I want you to type an 8. Type the number 8 if you're a worrier. So any worriers here, type an 8. And then if you are an excessive worrier, then type 2 8s, so double 8s. And the reason why I chose 8 is because it's never ending, right? Or that's an S. I can't do this with the backwards camera, but I'm just gonna do my own 8 and it'll look weird to you guys. But it's never ending, right? Because when you're worrying, it's just constantly, there's no end. You're just always worrying. So I have some hope for you who are here typing in 8s and double 8s. Hi, Sarah. Good to see you. Hi, S-Dog. Hi, Mr. Oh, you guys, I don't know, S-Dog isn't really your name, but hi. So if you're a worrier, here's my favorite quote. You guys, you're going to love this quote. It's amazing. So worrying, someone asked about meditating. Here we go. Here's your meditation. Worrying is like meditating on shit. So think about that. Worrying is like meditating on shit. When I heard that, I laughed my butt off. It was so funny. And now I constantly say it because it's true. You're worrying about something that's not even there. So you're worrying about shit. Anyways, I just wanted to throw that in there because I love that quote. So here, there is some reprieve for you if you are constant worriers. You could be carrying your parents' worry. You could be carrying your mom's worry or your dad's worry. It's not necessarily yours. A lot of times as little kids, what we do is we pick up on the emotions that our parents are feeling, whether they're actually expressing it or not. And then we feel we did something wrong. And so we want to carry it from them. We want to take it on so they can feel better. So a lot of times, if you know that you had a parent who was an excessive worrier and you're an excessive worrier, it's not yours. You weren't born with it. You picked it up. So that's just a little thing to help you see that it's not yours. You're just carrying it for your parents. And now that you know that, you don't have to carry it anymore. Okay. Yep. People are typing in 8s. Exactly. All right. So here's an example. I have a client I just saw, and during the session, he felt that he still has to take care of his dad. And he felt like if he wasn't in his dad's life, who knows what would happen to his dad. He even said he thinks his dad would be suicidal. And so he's taking on this huge burden of feeling like he is the reason of why his dad is living and having a life. And during the session, we got to find out where that energy lives of his dad feeling like he has to keep his dad alive, basically, where that lives in his body. And then we released it out, and it was so amazing for him. He just felt this huge relief, realizing, oh my gosh, my dad had me. I'm not my dad's dad. I don't have to take care of him. Yes, I care about him and I'm scared for him, but this is putting a damper on my life. This is making me sabotage my happiness and my success and what I want. And so I don't have to do that anymore. So to be able to have that is just huge. Okay, so any questions on abandonment? If you have any questions, just type them in the comments and I will check them. So next one is disloyalty. So this is where you feel that you are disloyal to the family rules. You're breaking the family rules and you could be disappointing your parents' expectations of you. And so some examples of this is if you don't follow the family business, that people are just expecting you and your family, like, oh, we're all nurses, you're going to be a nurse, or we're all, I don't know, we're all electricians, so you're going to be an electrician or a teacher or something, and you want to be something different, and you feel that that would disappoint them, whether they tell you, no, you can't, or whether it's just that energetic thing, like, no, we are all nurses, what are you doing, kind of thing. Then you sabotage what you want because you're doing something different than the loyalty of the family. And it can be, it could be not following the family business. It could be marrying. This is a big one. It could be marrying in a different faith. So a different religion, marrying someone with a different religion, different faith, or a different race. That's, I know people who have fallen in love with a different race, and because of their family, they couldn't act on it because they felt so disloyal to their family, even though they loved that person. So there's a lot of like stickiness here. And politics too. If you're wanting to have different politics than your family that you grew up in, that could be something where you feel disloyal. You feel like you're not allowed to have your own choices and your own ideas with it. And here's another piece of it too. So when we're little kids, we have to think our parents are God because we're dependent on them. We have to think, or we do think that they're God. They have all the answers. They're all knowing. When we get older, we realize, oh my gosh, they do have emotions. They are weak in some areas. They aren't all knowing. And then we have to admit it to ourselves. Now, if we have healthy parents, then it's okay for us to admit it for them. It's okay for them, and they'll take responsibility for it. If we don't, then we feel guilty that we're having this criticism for our parents. And so, and even if we did say like one thing mean to our parent and they reacted like really embarrassed or angry or cried, then we knew, oh, it's not safe. It's not safe to say what I truly feel and see, so I have to shut that down. And what ends up happening with that is if you have to shut down your feelings, your emotions, your thoughts, your choices, different things like that, your feelings about how your parents are stepping up in your life, if you have to shut that down, then you can feel really disloyal. And so what people do so they don't have to feel disloyal is they put their parents on a pedestal and they idolize them, and their parents can't do anything wrong because it's the only way that they can feel safe, because they're not allowed to express what is truly going on with it. So Ryan has a question. Could abandonment also be when a parent dies? Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't say it's more of the hidden guilt. It's just guilt. It's just feeling like, oh my gosh, I was abandoned because my mom or dad died when I was young. And so absolutely it is abandonment. It's just not that hidden guilt. So we all know if a parent dies, we know that, yeah, okay, that is truly abandonment. But the hidden guilt abandonment is not realizing that we can't have our own beliefs and thoughts and choices. So good question, Ryan. So yes, so we put our parents on a pedestal. It's the only way that we can survive, because we're not allowed to share what we truly feel. And then we push down all of our thoughts and feelings and dreams and what we want because we have to idolize our parents. And so And that's also the other piece where that, if you guys ever heard this growing up, that if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all, right? So there you are, you're being taught that you can only say nice things. You can't speak your truth. You can't you can't share what's going on. You can't share about your feelings if they're not nice. So you're taught that you just have to be this cookie cutter person, that this nice person that your parents want you to be, and you can't be who you truly are and what you believe. And so you have to shut that down. And it shows up in adulthood where you shut down your success, you shut down your happiness, you shut down your identity. I mean, I talked about this in the last part, but it's like there's so many people that go through identity crises, and it used to be like at 50, now it's like 20 or 30, because people are waking up earlier, but they're realizing all of these beliefs that I've taken on and this identity that I've taken on is not me, and they're wanting to figure it out. So hi Kenneth, thanks for joining. Heather's laughing. so yeah, if this is resonating, let me know. If anyone's like, oh yeah, I understand the whole abandonment piece. If anyone understands the disloyalty piece, type a 3. Type a 3 if this is resonating, or say, yes, this is resonating. If you have any questions or any examples so far of what you're hearing, let me know, because I'm here to answer the questions. So let me see. I have so many notes. I was up like all night the last 2 nights making sure I had like all of these things. And then as I was doing it, I realized I have so much more to teach you guys. I have this other book that I was going to read quotes from, but we'll see. That might just be a whole other Facebook Live. So here's an example of idolizing parents. And so I had a client who I almost didn't even take her on as a client, because I'm like, you don't really have any issues. I don't know what we're going to do. But she was just like, my childhood was great. Everything was fine. I think she wanted to lose some weight, or actually I don't say the word lose. I say, she wanted to release some weight. And so I was like, okay, well, we'll see what happens. Turns out, and in her subconscious, or in her unconscious that came up to her subconscious during the session, there was so much abuse and neglect in her family, but she had to push it back into her unconscious. So she would be able to survive her childhood. And then she really believed that her childhood was great and nothing was wrong. And so she didn't realize how much she pushed back in her unconscious. And thank God for our brains that save us. So if you're anyone who has ever felt like I don't remember a lot of my childhood, I'm going to tell you right now, because I did that too. If you feel like you don't have a lot of memories from your childhood, there's a lot of stuff that is stored in your unconscious because your brain is protecting you. There's different ways for you to let it out. I mean, you can ask for it. When you're ready, it'll show up, different things like that. So that's just something to pay attention with, because anytime I have a client who tells me either I had a great childhood or I don't remember a lot of my childhood, I'm like, okay, we're going to get to some really deep stuff if that person's brain is ready for that person to start working through. Okay, people are posting. Crystal says, yeah, the disloyalty one. Okay, so you're resonating with that. Sarah says, Amy, it sounds awesome, but hard to hear in a noisy restaurant. I will catch you later. Okay, Sarah, thanks for trying to watch it in a noisy restaurant. Crystal, how do you start healing from shutting down your identity? That's a great question. So how do you start healing from shutting down your identity? Well, I guess what you do is you start to ask yourself, is this true? Is this true? If you felt your whole life that you were dumb and you're not very smart, is this true? What is the evidence that this is true? And so that's how you can start with yourself, how you can just start talking to yourself and seeing, okay, for my identity, what did I take on? Is this true? What is the evidence? I think that's the best thing to do. Then also like finding a healer or a mentor or someone who can help you with whatever realm you want to work with, help you find out what's really going on, like who you truly are. Because here's the thing, our identity is formed between the ages of 5 and 8 years old. So if you think about it, and any of you who are like moms or dads or have kids or like nephews or whatever, if you if you think about it, 5 to 8 years old, how does a little kid from 5 to 8 years old know exactly who they are? But that's when our identity is formed. And so we're taking that into our adulthood where we're like, okay, this is who I am. Like, I honestly thought I was dumb my whole life. Like, I really thought I was that dumb blonde and I got attention for it. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to play into that. I'm really not that smart. So I might as well just like play into it and use it to my advantage. And then the more I did work on myself, the more I realized, no, actually, you're really smart. You just didn't get nurtured in the way. You didn't get attention for being smart. So you had to go a different way and learn attention. So Crystal, that's what I would say to start with, is just start asking, is this true and what's the evidence? Ask your friends too, support system, and find healers and therapists, whatever realm you want to go towards to help with that. My sister says, yeah, but you're amazing. You're amazing too, Heather. We've done a lot of work. I'll just share, Heather and I, my sister and I have done a lot of work on our relationship because I was the love theft in our family. So we're awesome now. We have a great relationship, but we had to do some work around it. Okay, Colleen. Could you give us some clarity about your definitions of conscious, subconscious, and unconscious? Yeah, that's a great question. Okay, so I'm not going to go so much like scientific because the brain is just crazy. So what I will do is say what our brain does. If something traumatic happens, I'm going to go into childhood wound stuff with the brain. If something traumatic happens and it's something that our brain feels we need to be protected, it'll store it in our unconscious. Because if we knew that information, then we wouldn't be able to survive, to go on with our life. So there's just differences between brains, because there's people who know that they were sexually abused and they know about it their whole life and they go through it. There's people who didn't know that they were, and then a memory comes up because they were finally ready to handle it. So that's the unconscious piece. The subconscious piece is more about kind of the tapes that run in our lives. So the tapes that you're not good enough, you'll never be enough, you're not pretty enough. Those are the tapes where we, and it can also be good tapes too. It can be like, you're powerful, you're beautiful. I mean, it's those tapes that run underneath like our beliefs of ourselves. And then our conscious is just running all the time and saying squirrel and saying reading books and saying everything. So our conscious is what like we feel we're seeing in our reality and whatever thoughts are going on in our mind. The subconscious lives underneath that, and the unconscious is way underneath that, and only things that show up from there only show up when we're ready to hear it, as far as when we're talking about trauma. Great question, Colleen. Okay, so did I cover everything? Oh, the other piece with disloyalty, because you know how like adamant I was last week about the surrogate spouse. So for those of you who didn't get a chance to watch the part 1 about surrogate spouse. So surrogate spouse is when your parent is not getting their adult needs met, and so they get their needs met by their child. And that can be sexually. That can be overt sexually, which means they don't actually act on it, but they give you that energy of it. That can be asking you for advice. That can be talking to you about adult situations that kids should not have to be dealing with. That could be putting you in that parenting romantic role as their child. So that's surrogate spouse. And so here's the other piece with disloyalty too, is if you got that energy from your dad or your mom, you were put in that role to feel like you were fulfilling their needs in whatever that adulthood looked like. Then, and this is a weird thing, but then you could stop yourself from being in a relationship with someone or completely sexually, emotionally giving yourself to your partner, because, and here's the weird piece of it, because unconsciously, so you don't know that this is happening, but unconsciously you are still there for that parent's need. You haven't detached from that. You were brought up to take on that role, and you haven't been able to let go of that role, and it can show up in relationships. And so that's how people can feel that they are disloyal in their family. So, whew, I'm gonna take I'm gonna take a big deep breath, because this is intense stuff. So you guys go ahead and take a deep breath with me. I'm not getting a lot of comments, so I just want to make sure you guys are still with me. If this is resonating, give me some like hearts and likes if this is resonating, because I want to make sure I'm teaching something that is helpful for you. Okay, Erin says, oh my God, I told my sister about surrogate spouse last night, and I think it actually got through to her. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Oh my God. Wow. Okay, first of all, I'm surprised you told her. That is awesome, Erin. Yeah. And here's the thing with surrogate spouse too, is people don't realize how common it is in families. It's not talked about, but it's very, 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 very common. And the thing is, we're doing it unconsciously. We as humans are always getting our needs met. Always, always, always. That's what we're doing. Every single thing that we've done in the past that we regret, we don't like, we did it to fulfill a need. So for whatever reason, if you are a surrogate spouse to one of your parents, you did it to fulfill a need. Or not you, sorry. Your parent chose you to fulfill their need. They didn't intentionally do this. That's why it's unconscious. That's why it's so like sticky and weird and hard to make sense of. But here's the other piece of it. As I'm talking about this, if you guys get any kind of like a physical sensation in your body, like I know someone on part 1 said that they felt like they wanted to throw up. If you get any kind of, because our body never lies. So if you get that physical sensation in your body, that's telling you something, because our mind can talk us out of this stuff all the time. I mean, I've worked on my childhood issues for years, and my mind still wants to protect me and talk me out of it, but my body does not lie. I get that physical reaction when I'm talking about certain things. Even right now, I'm getting it, just because our body doesn't lie. And so I just want you to pay attention. If your body is reacting, there's something there. And that actually goes to your question, Colleen, too, is if there's something in the unconscious that you don't logically know about, but your body is reacting, that's something that is telling you something's going on. Hi, Vanessa. I don't know how to say your name, but That Girl Speaks joined. So Dusty just jumped on. We'll have to come back and watch the beginning. Okay, good. Glad to have you here, Dusty. And you too, Sharon. Oh, I'm looking forward to our call tomorrow, Sharon. Okay, so hi, Stacy. Good to see you. Okay, so that is disloyalty. I know I kind of went off on that one, but yeah, you guys, if you saw what I talked about last week, the surrogate spouse thing just really gets me. The love that thing gets me. And so that's how we can feel that we are disloyal to our parents, when we feel like we have to live up to our parents' expectations. Oh, and then the other piece of too is those of us who are like perfectionists. We can feel like we're never like the perfectionist could come from our family, feeling like our parents have these huge expectations for us and we're never going to meet them. And so we can sabotage what we want because we feel like it's never going to be good enough, when actually it is good enough. It's just in your parents' eyes, for whatever their unconscious reasons, it's not. So I just wanted to throw that piece in there. So oh yeah, I have Stacy, internet is a bit sketchy, bummer. Oh no. Well, hopefully maybe if you reload it, then it'll work out. Crystal, I have a client who has this with her father. He would make her massage her feet and take care of him and cook and clean. It was always very weird. Absolutely. I supported her to move out and to take care of herself. Took her 3 years to move next door. Just that space helped her heal so much. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Yeah, so she was destined to be her father's lover, so to speak, the one that massaged him and cooked and cleaned for him. So thank God for people like you who can help people see that, no, this isn't who you are. This isn't who you were born to be. And at least you were able to get her to move that space. And I bet her father did not take to that very well. as they won't, because then we are being disloyal again. Farad, is surrogate spouse mostly sexual stuff? No. Or is it, or if they are relying on you for approval? Yeah. I talk a lot about the sexual stuff, but yes, it's surrogate spouse, exactly like what Crystal said about massaging the feet. Well, that can be sexual, but like cooking and cleaning. And it could just be about like asking your kid for advice when you're not supposed to be asking them for advice. It can be going to your kids to fulfill your needs. Like it can also be if you, so an example, a mother is really, really upset and she goes to her kid and she wants her kid to console her. Well, that's an adult issue. Your kid should not have to console you. You should go to an adult or a therapist or something like that. It's okay for the mom to say, I'm sad, because why? That's absolutely amazing. But for you to go to your child to fulfill an adult need. So yeah, surrogate spouse is not just sexual stuff. It's just fulfilling any kind of adult need that you should be that an adult should be getting met by another adult and not their children. So yeah, great question. Okay. So one other thing. Oh no, I think that's all with disloyalty. And so with that, I want to let you guys know too, is that what I'm going to do, because I've had so much fun doing these lives and just sharing with you and hearing from your heart about what happened with you, is that I want to offer a free Stop Sabotage session. So this is something that my clients get when they get to work with me. They get to go into their, as Colleen said, their unconscious mind, to bring up to the subconscious to find out the root cause of why they're sabotaging. And so I want to offer it to you guys. So, because it feels good. It feels good to offer it. I've never done it on this platform with a group of people, live on the internet. So I'm excited to see what can come of this. And I know that you're going to get incredible breakthroughs. And I know that in those breakthroughs, if you want to go deeper and find out what your real issues are and help me help you actually release the energy out of your body, then we can talk about that afterwards. But I wanted to offer this for you. So in the pinned comments, there is a little link to go sign up. So it's going to be next Tuesday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you can come, I'm not going to record it because I have no idea what kind of vulnerability will be shared. I don't know if anyone's going to share, but just because it's the first time, I want to just kind of check it out and see what I feel comfortable with. If you can't make it next Tuesday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, then what you can do is you can send me an email. I'll provide that in the link. Just go to nobstherapy.com and you can send me an email and tell me I want to be on the wait list and tell me what days and times work for you, because I want to offer it to people live and understand like what days and times. So, and if you're not in Pacific Standard Time, please put it in that so I can figure that out. So, here, I gave you guys this. So go to this website and send me a message if you want to be on the wait list for the next one. But the first one is going to be next Tuesday, 4 p.m. live with me. I'm taking you through a whole session where you get to find out where the sabotage started and clear it out of your body. So I'm really, really excited to share that with you. Okay. So Vanessa said she's amazing. Go sign up with her. Amy has guided me to massive emotional freedom from my childhood sabotaging tendencies. Thank you, Vanessa. Yeah, you've done so much good work, Vanessa. I love you so much. Thank you. Okay. Oh, I missed some. Farad. Yes, it's tricky. I'm a single parent, and as I am waking up more, I realize that I have done some stuff to my older daughter. Thank you so much for sharing that, first of all, for being so vulnerable and open and be willing to share that. And now it's like, oh, I get it. Because that's the thing. We don't know that we're doing it. It just gets passed on from generation to generation to generation. You don't know any better. But now that's the thing. And what you said is I'm waking up more. Yeah. You are waking up more. And so you're realizing, oh my gosh. So I don't know how old your daughter is. You can put it in the comments if you want. It's completely up to you. But what you can do is you can just go straight to her and be like, I'm just realizing this. I am so sorry. I had no idea I was putting you in that role. I never meant to do that. If you have any feelings about it, please tell me. I want us to be able to have a relationship where you feel comfortable with me. I want us to be able to talk about things. I want you to tell me how it's felt for you. I want to be there for you in the way that you want me to be. And I am so sorry that I put you in this role. And I'm glad that I know about it now that we can change it. It's all you really have to do, and that's all your kids want. They just want people to acknowledge what's going on. And your daughter might not even know what's going on. It could be she might have no idea, but for you to be able to acknowledge it and educate her would be huge for Rod. Okay. How do I see the pinned comment? It's in the group. Yeah, so in this Facebook Live, the pinned comment should be at the top. You can click on that link. Oh, Sharon helped you. Okay, cool. Aaron. That's an amazing offer, Amy. I'll jump on this. Amy is the real deal and has helped me tremendously. Thank you so much, Aaron. Oh my gosh. Aaron, well, okay. Can I share about what you're doing? If not, if so, tell me in the comments and I'll share. And if not, I'll keep it confidential, but I'm really excited for you. But you are incredible. So thank you for that. Suzanne, is the 4 p.m. session going to be on Facebook? No, it's going to be on Zoom. So if you click that link and sign up, I'll send you the Zoom link so you can join. She's 14. Okay. Yeah. So she's 14. She's at a good age. I think you could definitely have that conversation with her, Barad. Lori, love your heart and passion, girl. Thank you. Farad, I've been detaching over time and recognizing it. Yeah, that's huge. See, it's like, oh, you make me so happy when parents are willing to do this work and to detach and to realize and to share with their kids. That's how this is. I'm not going to have to make these videos anymore. People after me won't have to make these videos and educate on the shame and the different hidden guilt that we carry from our childhood because we're doing such a better job being aware of us because we're not unconscious anymore. We're waking up, which I love. Okay, Erin said sure. So she is starting a podcast. Erin is starting a podcast. I'm so freaking excited. Erin came from the person who had all these ideas, but would stop them in her tracks and say they're not good enough and just look at the worst that could happen and not do it. And Erin, oh my gosh, like every little idea that's coming, you are implementing it and it's amazing. And I'm so freaking excited for you. So, yeah, you can post in the comments, Erin, about your podcast. I know it's not live yet, so I don't want to. I guess I do want to kind of push you a little bit, but whatever you feel comfortable posting in the comments. But, Crystal, I have no link. If you could send, that would be great. Yeah. Okay. After this Facebook Live, I'll go check the link. I'll go check the pinned comment and I'll try and post it again so you guys can find the link. Oh my gosh, you guys can't find the link. Oh, okay. Let me find it. Oh no, I didn't put it as that's okay. I'll post it right after this Facebook Live so you guys can find it. Sorry. See, technology. That's the thing. I'm doing this whole new thing. I was scared to do it, but I felt called to do it. And now I'm doing it for you guys and it's not working. And whatever. I don't care. I'll post it afterwards so you guys can get the link. If not, just write in the comments I want in or something that I know you want to do the free the free session, or type in free session or something, and I'll make sure to get you guys the link. Okay, so the last one is shame. So as I told you guys yesterday was the difference between guilt and shame. So far we've been talking about guilt. We've been talking about hidden guilt. We've been talking about, so guilt is when you did something wrong or bad. So, oh my gosh, I feel awful that I did that. And that's why it's like hidden guilt with your parents, because it's like that like push-pull thing, okay? So guilt is I did something bad. Shame is I am bad. So this is where we take on this identity that we're not good enough, that whatever happened to us in our childhood is we weren't good enough. We're never going to amount to it. We're not pretty enough, special enough, smart enough, different things like that. So that is shame, where it becomes our identity, not something that we can change. This is who we think that we are. So, yeah, so what I wrote, it's a deep embarrassment about who you are. And this is something where we don't even want to look at it because we're so embarrassed. It's just like, or if we see it in other people, then we point it out, and we point it out in them because it lives inside of us, but sometimes we don't even realize that it lives inside of us because it's such a deep, deep shame. And as I'm sharing this with you guys, this is so cool. I love that I'm like jumping into this childhood wounds, and I just got a whole other idea for a Facebook Live. So where I can teach you all about like the repressed ways that our identity shows up in different ways. So I'm glad I said this live. So now I know what my next live will be. Okay. So if you were given negative messages growing up about your identity, and or you were abused, and or you were neglected, then you definitely felt some shame, and you could still be carrying some shame, because that's where it's not, oh, I made a bad decision. It's, I am a bad decision. I am a bad person. I'm not good enough. That's that deep, deep shame. So if you were treated as a child like you were unimportant, then you feel like, oh, I don't even matter. My parents don't even pay attention to me. They don't even care what I want. They don't even want to know who I am and what I want. So I'm unimportant. That means who cares about me? I don't matter. And so that's that deep, deep shame piece. If you were used as an object, then that would be a deep piece where it's like you were used as an object, what we said, like sexually, physically, but also to like bring pleasure to your parents, or they like, what was it? Like, it was on the tip of my tongue, but because it's not like, I think Farad or Colleen said, where it's not all sexual, but just to bring pleasure to your parents for whatever reason. If they want you to just like dance in the middle of nowhere or something, then, you could be doing that, but you don't want to do it, but your parents tell you to do it. Like, I had a client once where his dad was an alcoholic, and his dad would make him like bring him beer and like make like, I don't know why that came up, but like he just took on like, I'm unimportant. My dad doesn't care about me. All I do is bring him beer, and that's his joy. His joy is beer, not me. So that client took on that I don't matter. Beer's more important to my dad than I am. And just not feeling like you were loved and accepted for who you are, then that is going to make you feel shameful, make you feel like you're not good enough for who you are. So, okay, here's the other piece too. Does anyone relate with being the black sheep, the black sheep of the family, the black sheep of the family? If you do, let me know in the comments. Just type in black sheep or me, because I have some interesting things to tell you about why you are the black sheep, or why you were the black sheep, which you might have never heard before. So, hi Faye, so good to see you too. Yesenia says service. Oh, yeah, so service for your parents. Yeah, you're like their little servants. Exactly. Mm-hmm. Okay, so one person wrote, Crystal says yes on my father's side. Okay, Michaela wrote black sheep. Okay, yep. Heather, yes, black sheep. Okay. Sharon, my father always told me I had it too easy. I didn't deserve attention. He would give me toys to visiting kids if he felt sorry for them. Then he would tell me not to complain because I already had so much. I've heard, I mean, of course, your story is personal to you, but I've had clients with this same type of thing where your parents feel like you don't deserve it. You have too much. Let's go give to other people. And then you feel really guilty. It's such a weird place to be, because you feel so guilty because they're making you feel guilty that you have too much and they're giving it to other people. So yeah, and that you can't complain about it. So yeah, I've definitely, I hear you there, Sharon. Stacy says in my teenage years, definitely. Okay. So, Suzanne says, yep, servant, black sheep. What does that mean exactly? Exactly. Okay, so black sheep means that you are different. You're the one that stands out in the family. You're the problem of the family. You're the one that's not like the rest of the family. You're the one that's not going towards the family's rules and the family's beliefs. And this is what we do as a family, and you're different. So that is the black sheep. Hi, Michael. Good to see you. Hi, Claudia. Okay. So here's the thing. And the black sheep can be like the class clown. The black sheep can be the troublemaker. And here's what's really going on is that person is carrying the shame of the family. So if you were the black sheep, or if you know, like your sibling or sister or someone was the black sheep, then they carried the shame of the family because the rest of the family can do no wrong. Everyone else in the family is perfect, but that person. And so because the rest of the family is acting like they are God, they are perfect, they can do no wrong, they're not able to take responsibility for for their actions. And what ends up happening is the person who is considered the black sheep, the scapegoat of the family, that person carries all of the shame for the family. But here's the thing with that. That person is doing it, and it's almost like that person, the black sheep, takes on, can you guys hear my dog? Sorry. Takes on the shame of the family because they don't want anyone else to feel pain. They don't want the pain to show up in the family. And so that person unconsciously takes on the shame of the family so everyone else can feel good. So if you are the black sheep, if you identify yourself as the black sheep or the troublemaker, the class clown, the scapegoat, then you are probably highly sensitive because you were so sensitive to what was going on in the family. And you knew the only way that you could take away the pain from everyone else is you be the troublemaker. You're the one always getting in trouble. You're the one that everyone makes as wrong because you're sensitive to those emotions and everyone's needs. And it's like that deeper thing of you care so much, you don't want anyone else to be in pain. And so you carry it. And it's such a difficult place because it's unconscious. You don't know that you're doing it. You just take it on because you don't want anyone to feel that pain. And so as you're taking it on, then you're constantly excluded from the family and you constantly feel different. And then you feel like you're not good enough no matter what you do. And you still continue to sabotage and make yourself that black sheep, make yourself different when in actuality, you're like the strongest one of the family because you see what's going on and you're carrying it for the family so everyone else can go on their merry way. And you distract the family from their issues and their pain onto you. And the weird piece of it too is you get attention from it. And even bad attention is good attention because if you're not getting attention from just being you because you're different, then if you're that the troublemaker, any attention is good attention. And so you learn, oh, if I'm a troublemaker, if I speak up, if I do this, at least I'm going to get some kind of attention and know that I matter. And that's why a lot of people can take on those roles as adults where they are just still the class clowns and still the troublemakers because they got attention for it. That's the thing. Like I said, we're always getting our needs met. So we as children, need attention. So we have to, we learn, oh, this is what gets me attention. This is what I'm going to do to at least be noticed. So I know that was like a lot. So let me know how you guys feel about that, if that resonates with any of you. And I'll share that, I've had so many clients that have been considered the black sheep, but it's just like you always, I can't read my handwriting because I wrote so much. This thing is like covered with notes that I want to make sure I give you guys. so much insight and empowerment. Oh, okay, yeah. So I've had clients who work with me that have, yes, okay, I was writing about this one client. So she was the black sheep. She felt like she could never do anything right for her family. She was always just never good enough. No matter what she did, she was always the problem. And when we had our session and she realized that she's been carrying the shame of the family and they're walking around thinking like everything is great, she realized that she got to release that in the session. And then she went to a family reunion. I just spit everywhere. Sorry. Hey, I get really passionate about this stuff. So then she went to our family reunion and she acted completely different. They tried to like pin all these different things on her and she just wouldn't take it. She just knew how to just, okay, well, I'm leaving this conversation and just completely not carry it anymore because she realized it's not hers. So if any of you are relating where, oh my gosh, I felt so different in my family, or maybe your sibling did, now you kind of understand what is going on and why they were the troublemakers, because that's the only way that they were noticed. And that's what they were doing to distract the family from the problems so the family could get along. Okay, Yesenia says, wow. Heather, I never really thought of it that way. That's amazing, Amy. Mind is blown. Exactly. It's really fun for me to be here sharing this with you because, like I said, my sister is on right now. So my sister gets to learn all of the stuff that I've been learning and understanding what went on with me, what went on with her, so I can do my own work, so I can teach you guys this. And that's why I'm really good at what I do, because I did my work and I'm still doing my work. And I understand that no one's born like this. Whatever's going on with you, whatever your issues are, you were not born with this. These are things that you learned to do to protect yourself, to give yourself safety, to protect the family. These are unconscious beliefs that you had to take on that are not yours. And it's so liberating when you realize they're not yours and you get to release them out of your body and out of your energy field and you get to move on with your life. And that's why I freaking love what I do, because too many people feel shame, feel awful about who they are. And it's like, no, we are these like beautiful, amazing humans who had to go through whatever we had to go through to get to where we're at. But you don't have to carry that. You don't have to take that on. Okay. Sorry. Went on my huge soapbox right there. Stacy, kind of hurts actually, so must have struck a vein. Yeah, I don't know if you were here when I was talking about the body, Stacy, but if what I say, if there's anything I say, maybe if it doesn't resonate logically, but if you have a physical reaction in your body, there's some truth there, because our body never lies. So if you're feeling like it kind of hurts, there's something there. And that's just something, don't beat yourself up. It's just something to explore. Like, oh, my body's telling me something. Because, and I'll just go on my little rant right now, but I really believe disease comes from us not feeling our emotions, us not expressing who we truly are. And then it's like disease shows up because it's knocking at the door saying, hey, pay attention to me. You're not realizing that you've repressed these emotions all these years. You're not being who you truly are. You're carrying too much of the family shame. If you're not going to be able to recognize this, I'm going to show you in your body. I'm going to make you actually physically feel it so you can do work on it. So I really, really believe that. Faye says, makes total sense. Awesome. Yeah. Farad. Yep. They probably got pissed off the family when patterns are changed, because then they are stuck with themselves. Yes. And that's such a good thing to bring up, Farad, because okay, so here's the thing. You guys have all of this knowledge now. Don't go running to your parents and tell them, I can't believe you did that. Like, don't do that. If you're thinking of don't do that. Because you're the one doing your work, not your parents. And when we are the neediest, when we're like, I understand now. I understand I was a scapegoat. I understand I've been carrying this hidden guilt, and I'm going to go tell them, and I'm going to have them own up to it. And I'm going to have them apologize to me, and everything's going to be great. No. What's going to happen is, because if you're feeling this like neediness to go get this validation from them, they're going to hurt you more than ever. Because when you have that, when we're the neediest, that's when we're the most vulnerable to be hurt. And that's when people who are not doing their work can hurt us even more. So I know you didn't say that, Varad. It just brought me to like, oh, I want to share this. But yes, so the family does feel it. When you do your work, it definitely threatens the family, especially if you were the scapegoat. You're not the different one anymore. You're calling us out. You're calling us out, the perfect family that did everything for you. No, they're not happy about it. So, oh, okay. My Instagram just ended. That's okay. I'll finish with you guys. So they're not happy about it. Yeah, so I know you didn't say that, Rod, so I'm not saying that you're going to go do this. I just wanted to share that because, like you said, when the patterns change, that's when they have to look at their issues. And if people don't want to look at their issues, they're going to blame you even more and make you feel worse. So if you start to do, if what I'm sharing with you resonates and you want to do some work on this, make sure you have a very, very, very strong support system if you want to go ever talk with your family about this. And make sure you're okay with whatever ends up happening. Whether they love you and apologize and cry and it's okay, or whether they say, you are crazy, get out of our life, I hate you. You have to be okay with both situations. Otherwise, it's not going to end up well. Just throwing that out there. Stacy, it opens the door to more questions and offering answers. I guess I need to know more. Yeah. And Stacy, I know you're kind of just like filling into it right now and you might not even know what questions you have, but if you have any questions, throw them out there and I'll be happy to answer them if I feel that I can offer at least my perspective of the answer. And you can talk if you want to talk more with me privately. If there's some other things that are bubbling up, you can absolutely do that too. So just send me a message. And all of you who are watching on the replay or live, if you have any questions, I will still keep looking at this. I don't want to act like I'm ending because I feel like there's still a little bit more. Oh, okay. One more big thing and then I'll be done. I have no idea. Oh my God, I've been an hour. I'm so sorry. I get on my soapbox and I can't stop. So one more thing I want to share, and this is not something that people agree with. This is something that I feel very strongly about, but it's very different than a lot of people. So if anything I said in these parts has been resonating with you and you've been feeling like you're relating with it, here's the thing that a lot of people say to do that I do not agree with, and I'll tell you why. So people say the minute you figure this stuff out, you have to forgive them. You have to forgive your parents. You have to forgive the people who hurt you. I will say yes, but not yet. People throw forgiveness out there like, oh, I'm just going to forgive them for all the shit they put me through, for everything every way that they hurt me. I'm just going to forgive them so I can move on with my life. Well, what you're doing is you're not honoring that little girl or that little boy who absolutely needs to be heard about how they felt growing up. And so that's where I would recommend finding a good healer or therapist or person who knows how to handle emotions. Because you need to let that little girl, that little boy have their voice, feel their emotions, get angry, get sad. Let all of those emotions come out. Then you can forgive. I think so many people just throw out forgiveness. And forgiveness is a great thing. Don't get me wrong. But they do it way too soon. And then that's why I have clients who come to me when we dig up some of this stuff and they're like, oh, I thought I was over that. I thought I did all the work on that. And it's like, no, because you probably didn't give a complete voice to that little girl or that little boy. And then you went straight to forgiveness. And now here we are digging it back up again. And you're realizing you have feelings still about it. So that's just one big thing that I feel very strongly about that I know is very different than what's being taught out there. So I just want to throw that out to you. If anything I shared today made you get some insight into maybe why you sabotage, that let yourself have your feelings in a safe environment, because that's what that little boy or that little girl growing up absolutely wanted to do. And now you as the adult, you can do that. Sharon, that makes total sense. Cool. Good. I'm glad, because some people are like, no, you have to forgive. I get it. You do forgive, but not yet. That's happened to me before, Stacy says. Oh, where you forgave too soon? Is that I want to make sure I'm following with that. Crystal makes sense. Now I got to go dig some things. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And and it's good because if I know you've done your work, you've done a lot of work, Crystal, so you know that it's painful in the moment, but it feels so good afterwards, and then it's not going to show up as disease in your body. Uh, Brad, yes, thank you. Awesome. Cool. Okay, so yes, I know my pinned comment. I guess it wasn't working. So as soon as this ends, I will pin the comment so you guys can join me on the webinar. I'm really excited to share it with you. I'm nervous, which is a good thing, but I'm really excited to see like what kind of breakthroughs you can get. And yeah, so I will pin that. And thank you all for watching. Again, if you have any questions or comments, whether live or replay, I will be back and watching this. And I think that's it. Just know that you're enough. You are enough. You've done so much work already. You don't have to carry this anymore. It's not yours. You weren't born with it. You are enough just as you are. So I will leave you with that. All right. Bye, everyone.